Alright, so this week the internet absolutely blew up with some shocking news about a Detroit Lions legend. But as it turns out, the story was way more complicated than it looked. It's a wild ride that tells us a lot about how news and, well, fake news spreads today. Let's get into it.
You know that feeling when you're scrolling and a headline just makes you stop? That was this story. A true Hall of Famer, a sports icon, suddenly reported as gone. It spread like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah, so we're not talking about some random rumor buried deep in a forum. No, this thing escalated, and it escalated fast. It became a major story that, honestly, a lot of people took as fact. So, where did it all begin?
So here's the headline that dropped. Lem Barney, the legendary 80-year-old cornerback for the Detroit Lions, had passed away. For fans, this was just gut-wrenching news. We're talking about a true giant of the sport.
But what really threw gasoline on this fire was where the information was supposedly coming from. The reports gained this huge stamp of approval because media outlets started saying the Pro Football Hall of Fame itself was the source. Come on, that's the ultimate authority, right? At that point, why would anyone doubt it?
Okay, so just as this story is hitting a fever pitch, the whole thing gets turned on its head. The most credible source you could possibly imagine steps up to set the record straight, and they did it in a way that left zero room for doubt.
And that correction, it came straight from Lem Barney's son, Lem Barney III. He told TMZ, and I'm quoting here, "He is alive and well. I spoke to him today." You can't get any more definitive than that. With just one sentence, that whole narrative that had been building all morning just poof, fell apart. And the family didn't stop there. They gave a bit more detail just to put everyone's mind at ease. They said Barney's being looked after by around-the-clock caretakers, there's no reason to be worried about his health, and get this, his son even got a picture of him that very day. So yeah, this story was 100% a hoax. Okay, so that leads us to the million-dollar question. How on earth does something like this even happen? How does a totally false report about a beloved public figure get so big, so fast, and seem so, well, so real? If you look at the timeline, you can see just how insane the speed of this was. It started as some online chatter early in the week. The kind of stuff you might just scroll past. But then, Saturday morning hits, and suddenly legit-sounding sources are being cited, and the story just explodes. But then, just a few hours later, that afternoon, the family steps in and shuts the whole thing down. A complete cycle of misinformation from start to finish in less than 24 hours. Wild.
And here's the craziest part of this whole thing. For the Barney family, this wasn't even new. His son told TMZ that this exact same thing had happened just a few months ago. So this wasn't some one-off mistake. It's a recurring nightmare for this family. Can you imagine?
So to really get why this fake news hit so hard, you gotta understand who Lem Barney is. We're talking about an absolute legend of the game, and his career is definitely worth remembering, especially, while he's still here with us.
Alright, so picture this. It's 1967. The Lions draft this kid Lem Barney in the second round out of Jackson State, and he did not waste a single second making his mark. He wasn't just another rookie. He was an instant game changer from day one. His career stats are just incredible. He played 11 seasons, all with the Lions, won Defensive Rookie of the Year, he was a first-team All-Pro cornerback, and the guy's athleticism was off the charts. He played corner and punter in college. Just a phenomenal, do-it-all kind of player. And the absolute peak, the moment that sealed his legacy forever, came in 1992. That's the year he was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. That's the highest honor there is, and it cemented his place as one of the all-time greats. No question about it. So if we zoom out a bit, this whole Lem Barney story is a perfect, though really unfortunate, snapshot of the challenges we're all dealing with in today's media landscape. Think about how much has changed in how we get our news. It used to be a slower process, right? There was time for fact-checking. But now, we live in an age of instantaneous updates, where something can go viral way faster than anyone can verify if it's true. It's a constant flood of information, and it's getting harder and harder to tell what's real. And all of this really leaves us with a huge question. When a trusted source like the Hall of Fame can be misquoted, and a false story can become a recurring trauma for a family, who's actually responsible for the truth anymore? Is it the platforms, the media, or, and this is the tough part, is some of that responsibility on us to maybe take a breath before we hit share? It's definitely something to think about the next time a crazy headline scrolls across your screen.